Cast of Encanto. Now, last time he came on the show, gang, he was talking about the now 6th highest grossing film of all time ever. Now he has another great film to tell you all about, which I loved. He's the man who doesn't sleep. Welcome back to The Breakfast Show, Tom Holland. Morning, Tom.
Morning, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, my love. Welcome back to the show. We've been celebrating a lovely lady today, Tom. Edna in Glasgow. It's her 101st birthday. Can you believe today?
Wow, that's incredible. Happy birthday, Edna. That's amazing. Oh, congratulations.
That's pretty epic, Edna. Spider-Man said happy birthday to you. That's incredible. Tom, since we last spoke to you, Spider-Man No Way Home was released and in 6 weeks has made $1.74 billion at the box office around the world. You gotta be cock-a-hoop about this. I mean, it's been received so brilliantly. The fans love it, Tom.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting time. I mean, while we were making the film, we were all pretty confident that we had our hands on something really special, but I don't think we could ever have imagined it would be as special as it has been. But take the box office out of the equation. The thing that I'm most happy about and also most proud of is how well received the film has been from the fans. The videos of the fans watching the film in the theatre when Andrew shows up and when Toby shows up, and to feel that kind of nostalgic energy sort of, go through 3 different generations of cinema has been very rewarding and an incredible thing to be a part of. So for me, that's definitely the highlight of the last few months.
I have to say, my son Woody, he went to see it at midnight. Like lots of fans, the minute it was in the cinema, there they were, loved it. You and Zendaya obviously plays MJ, and Jacob, who's Ned, said you wanted to get commemorative presents for each other after finishing doing all the promo for the film. What did you settle on? Did you get anything in the end, or was it just one of those things, or was it tattoos?
Oh, I would love it to have been tattoos, but unfortunately, I'll just have to say it was a lifetime friendship. I know that's a very lame thing to say, but we didn't get around to doing it. In all honesty, we were so busy with the press tour, and I think with the momentum of the film, Sony was very keen to keep us working and talking. So we didn't have time to go out and buy each other a gift, but I'm sure we will do in the future.
Your mate Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, does an incredible impression of you.
Hello, I'm Tom. I've just been cast to do Spider-Man.
We're wondering, can you do an impression of Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom?
Okay. Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh, Tom, darling, would you like to run the lines before we start shooting, darling?
Fabulous. That was spot on, Tom. Thank you. Right, you have another brilliant film that we're talking about today. Before we go there, have a little listen to a teaser, everybody. It is such a brilliant film, Uncharted. You heard there the voices of Tom, the mighty Mark Wahlberg, who stars Nathan Drake and Sully. Uncharted meaning never seen before, but I guess it kind of has been slightly seen before because it's based on the computer game, Tom. How did the movie come about and your involvement?
That's an interesting one. So I had been a big fan of the games while shooting Spider-Man 1. Obviously, Spider-Man being a Sony movie, Sony owning PlayStation, one of the luxuries of working for the company is they always gift you a PlayStation on the job, and you get to play the games that are coming out that year. And I played this game Uncharted and fell in love with it, but I actually came up with this idea for an origin story to a James Bond movie, which I pitched to everyone at Sony, which didn't really go down that well, but that idea kind of burst this idea that I could play a young Nathan Drake and we could tell the origin story to a character that is typically in his late 30s in the game. So it was kind of out of that pitch that the idea came about. And then, my boss, Tom Rothman, and I, we sat down, we had lunch, we spoke about the possibilities of me playing this character. And then 2 years later and 4 directors later, we made the movie. And I can't quite believe I'm sitting here. This is the first thing I've ever produced. They were kind enough to make me a producer on this show. So, you know, I've been very involved in the creative process, now the promotion process, and also the post process. So it's been really fun, and it's been really nice that Sony have been so kind and welcoming to let me into that side of the job.
It's such an epic film. I didn't know anything about Uncharted. I don't play many computer games, and so I didn't know the story at all. So I watched it having known nothing about it at all, and completely fell in love with Nathan and indeed Sully. How was it to work with Mark Wahlberg? I adore him.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dream come true, you know. I've been a big fan of his for a very long time, and, you know, when we were casting Sully, you know, we were throwing ideas around of who it could be, and as soon as Mark Wahlberg's name was thrown into the mix, it was him. We all knew that he was the guy to get, and, you know, incredibly, he was actually attached to play Nathan Drake like 25 years ago, or something like that. No, it can't have been 25 years ago. At least.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not that old, bless him.
He's not listening.
But yeah, so he was attached to play Nathan, and I think he was really happy to sort of take on the job of the older guy and let the younger guy come in and sort of test it out a little bit. But no, he was a delight.
Oh, so the chemistry between the two of you is brilliant. Sophia Ali is fabulous. Tati Gabrielle, who's in the film too, great cast. And the stunts. I mean, you have pushed boundaries here on this film with the stuff that you could do. I know that everybody wanted to do as much sort of for real, if that makes sense, rather than on green screen. The airplane scene, which begins the film, is just incredible. I do not know how you managed this stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, you read the script and you have to try and figure out in your head how you're going to shoot it, and then you see the previs, which is like a sort of pre-animated version of what the film will look like, and then the sort of stress really sets in of like, how on earth are we going to put this together? But we were very lucky that we had an incredible stunt team, and we shot the entire sequence vertically rather than horizontally to kind of sell the idea that we were traveling through the air. But it meant that I spent, I don't know, 6 weeks on wires hanging off of these boxes that would shake and spin and move. And it was the hardest sequence I've ever done. And my two stunt doubles and I, you know, they're much tougher than I am. And even them by the end were saying, this is ridiculous. We need to finish this sequence. But it is great in the film, and it's really stressful. Like, even I know that none of it's real, but it feels very real. It feels the stakes are very high, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stunts in this film are by far the hardest I've ever done. We really did, you know, push the boundaries of what we could do. And I think it really comes across in the film. I think it serves the film greatly.
It really does. It's epic from the very, very beginning. And honestly, I was like squealing. Even when you do like quite simple stuff, like jump over a box with your feet first and your hands holding on the side, I'm like, woo! It's such a brilliant film. We'll talk more about Uncharted with Tom Holland after Charles and Eddie. Would I lie to you? Brilliant to have Tom on the show again, 8:54. Holland is with us this morning. Tom, we are running out of time, but I've got some quick fire questions for you, my darling. Here we go. Tom, are you hosting the Oscars? Yes or no?
No.
Oh, we were hoping you would. Would you do a cameo in Euphoria? We're obsessed.
Maybe I already have. Who knows?
Love it. Have you ever dressed up as Chirpy the mascot at a Tottenham Hotspurs game?
No, but we are in discussions.
Yes, brilliant. I quite like this quick fire game. You confirmed when you were on the show last time you will be playing Fred Astaire in an upcoming film. Have you seen a script yet?
I have seen it, but whether I've read it or not is another question.
Okay, you don't have much time, absolutely. And is it true that you would love a Marvel crossover between Spider-Man and Black Widow's sister, Yelena, played by Florence Pugh? Has it been suggested to the big bosses yet?
It hasn't been suggested to the big bosses yet, but Florence and I have definitely spoken about it, and hopefully one day we can make that happen. That would be very cool.
Okay, and finally, Tom, did you see the super cute Instagram post that Drew Barrymore posted about you over the weekend? And that picture, and can you describe young Tom for everyone listening?
Yeah, I did actually. It's an interesting story behind that picture. We met, it must have been 10 years ago now. She was going to direct this film, and there was a 15-year-old boy in the film, and she wanted me to play that character. We went for lunch. My dad came with me. We had a lovely time. She was very warm and welcoming. You know, I was I'd never been to Hollywood before. And then as we were leaving, I remember there was paparazzi there, obviously there to see Drew. And that was my first introduction to Hollywood. So I was very grateful that it was with her because she was so kind and so welcoming, and she sort of made us feel safe and at ease with the whole thing, because it's daunting when you're a little kid. So that was a lovely memory, and it's very sweet what she said.
Oh, Tom, fabulous. So many messages. Morning, so love that Tom is on the show again. Loved his latest Spider-Man film. He's a joy to listen to when you interview him. Tots from Gosport is a massive fan, Tom.
Aww.
It's fair to be said. Uncharted opens in UK cinemas on the 11th of February. Take the whole family. It is hilarious. The stunts are incredible. The chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Tom are brilliant. That's opening next Friday. Tom, we're sending you so much love. Thanks for coming on the show again.
Amazing. Thank you for having me. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Tom Holland, everybody. Bye. What a morning. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much.